Mr. President, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the time.
It has been almost a year since your inauguration. Have you faced anything that you were not expecting when you took office?
I've been a politician for almost 40 years, excluding the term now. So I would say that on the national front, I was kept informed all the time by the news and, of course, by sources in government. Expected, but I never realized the magnitude of the contamination of the Filipinos insofar as drugs are concerned. When I became president and everything was available to me for information, I was almost appalled to know that we have reached the millions of contaminated. So when I was mayor, I said, do not destroy my city and do not destroy the young people of Davao City because they are our assets. We are not rich. Most of us are poor, and we depend on our sons and daughters to feed us when we get. We do not have. We are not the rich people. We do not have any housing here for few in between, and we need our children to buy the medicines, pay the hospitals, pay our burial, and do not corrupt them with drugs. Do not destroy their minds. And I said, because I will kill you. And I've been very clear with that. Do not destroy my country. Do not destroy our young people. Because if you do that, I will kill you. There are so many criminals walking around. Stop it, and I said. I am not a wholesale violator of human rights. I am not the police. I just give orders. But I build a country. But anything that would destroy my country is totally unacceptable to me. My orders are very clear. Go out and hunt for them, the drug lords. Arrest them if it's still possible. But if they are confronted with the violence that would place your life, the policeman or the security officer in danger, so that kill them. Because in the past, that was what really prevented policemen and the military from doing it. Why? Because they were so afraid of this human rights thing, which is a new phenomenon. It's actually the human rights in the guise of human rights. Countries like EU and America are interfering into the affairs of other nations in the guise of human rights.
The bitter irony is that while trying to protect civilians, to protect the youth, you sometimes, and you admitted that in one of your interviews, that innocent civilians could have become victims. Do you think it is a fair price to pay?
Just like in the Americans, when they drop a bomb there, so much, so powerful that it also kills others.
But you are not America. Do you feel sorry for? Do you
but
feel
we
sorry?
are talking of human liability. So it doesn't say that because the Americans are exempted, and that's because I am just a small time government official. I am not exempted. So what's the fairness there? No. When they drop bombs, they kill so many villages, and there's not even a whimper. America invaded Iraq. What was the excuse? That there were weapons of mass destruction. And yet when they invaded Iraq, so many people were killed. So where is justice now?
So I think it's really hard to avoid civilian...
Meaning to say, justice has to be equal. It cannot be a justice for one and justice for another set of standards for two. It has to be equal.
Is that the reason why you turn away from America?
Yes, because they refuse to understand my predicament when they knew that they were also in the same predicament on a larger scale. I never in America, what? Remember Panama? Okay. They invaded Panama, a sovereign state, okay, in Central America. So what was the purpose there? They went inside, seized the country, arrested the president, brought him outside the country, placed him in a detention cell in New York. He faced a trial federal court and is convicted. What happened to the invasion? And what was the reason? Drugs. You invade a country. Me, I'm just fighting the criminals in my country. I never invaded a country. You have to look at it this way. There is so much incongruity in the principles that are being followed by nations. The powerful ones, they can invent this weapon of mass destruction. Oh, we can invade your country. Me, I never touch anybody. I do not even go to the United States. And then they criticize me for the criminals that I have killed.
Your relations with the previous U.S. administration were far from perfect. Will you give Trump's administration a chance?
I think that Trump is very good. He's a regular guy. He's pragmatic, very practical. The previous administration was a source of irritation and source of so many conflicts, not really in terms of war, but in terms of relationships. The other administration destroyed all of this, the goodwill and even relationships with Russia and relationships with the Philippines. And it's not an easy job to be just, when there's a new guy in town, you just say everything is forgotten. They have the Congress that is not in full accord with the U.S. president. And as it is, they're still fighting right now, threatening even to impeach President Trump. America is a hard act to follow. Sometimes you are in good terms. For example, Trump, he says that he agrees with me. And he thinks that I'm doing it the right way. And even he, about 2 weeks ago, announced that he's going to get tough against the drug lords and everybody who is into drugs. You could almost find the similar words between my mouth and Trump's mouth. But you know, those things that we ordered and those things that we expect to be delivered is being hampered because it is equally, the powers of the president is subject also to the checks and balances of Congress. And sometimes he is paralyzed. He himself now even finds himself maybe not really in big trouble, but in trouble. I have nothing against America. We're perfectly all right. Trump is my friend. But my foreign policy has shifted from what of that pro-Western. I now have this working alliance with China, and I hope to establish a good working relations with Russia. Why? Because Western world, EU and everything, they have this double talk. We will survive, we will endure, we can go hungry. But this time, I want my country treated with dignity.
So you once said that you don't want America in your country. So you were serious.
Yes, I said no. I said American troops. That one day during my term, if I survive the CIA, oh no. If I survive the CIA, I have stayed 5 years.
You talk a lot about assassination. Do you really expect that to happen?
They do it. Does it surprise you?
Are you worried?
They can
Are you
topple
afraid of
the
your
world.
life?
They can even pluck the president out of his country and force him to face trial in another country.
What should happen so that it improves? Are you waiting for an apology? Let's say, will it work?
No, that's not. I don't want that thing to happen.
So what may help?
It's enough that I respect Trump. He's a friend, and he is welcome to come here on November. But if I'm talking about arms, if I'm talking about mutual defense regarding ISIS, I'd rather, in my preliminary talks with President Putin, I got a favorable response. I hope we can convert it to something substantial. Because it is only Russia and China who can be relied with their words. America is double talk. The left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. Because I said the arms are suspended and the Senate has not really agreed, or they're still debating on it, whether to give us the arms or not. My country is fighting terrorism. How long can I wait? Until such time that we are on bended knees? It might be too late. For after all, if I do not act now, and so with the drug problem, if my country collapses, who will bring it back? The United States? Russia sells arms. He does not impose she does not impose any conditions. When Russia sells the arms, it sells the arms. You need it? I will give it to you. That's a known fact. You do not attach conditions. A straight negotiation. If you're ready to help, we'll say, okay, we'll help, we'll give you this. And can you do that with America? No. Because the president says he will give you, and the State Department said no. And then his Congress, we said, no, he's a human rights violator, so we keep a distance. And then, if that is the case, so be it. I will not hanker for it on bended knees. I will not ask for mercy for that alone.
So what about ISIS? Do you think ISIS militants here in the Philippines, they're homegrown or they were kind of imported?
There are so many Caucasians looking. We have captured or killed about 6 already. And they are from the Middle East mostly.
How are you going to fight the terrorism, this task that so many countries actually fail to deal with?
Well, not really fail, but put it under control. It's a state of the mind which cannot be erased easily. In every generation, there is always a serious problem to solve. And so you have to be serious about it. And sometimes not go beyond, but in excess of what is really called for. Because you want an assurance that your country is safe. If we have to kill an extra guy to make it more safer, then do it. My God, do it. And if they put 100 more killed and 100 more safer, if you are a leader and you don't know how to solve it, you must be, you do not deserve, I should not be serving. Maybe what I can really say is that I do not need the presidency at this time of my life. I'm 72 years old. As president, I have to preserve and defend the Filipino nation. And I will exactly do it, whatever be the price, whatever be the cost. It's my solemn duty to see to it that my country is really what it should be, a peaceful and comfortable place to live in.